In this video, we'll cover step 4 of generating the order history component. Let's go ahead and open up a new terminal window and use the Angular CLI to generate this new component. So ng generate component, and then components/order history. All right, so let's go ahead and swing over here to the components directory, and there should be a new component in here called order history. All right, looks good. And let's go ahead and open up the OrderHistoryComponent.ts file. All right, so the first thing I want to do here is define a field for order history list, and it's simply an array of order history items. And I'll initialize this array to be an empty array. And let's move over here to this order history, and it can't give me the auto fix. That's interesting. No quick fixes available. I'll just go ahead and manually type it in. You may encounter this problem. You may not. Your results may be different, but I'll just manually type it in here. All right, so that's how we just manually add the entry there for importing our order history class. And another thing here is that I want to retrieve the user's email from the browser's storage. So I simply set up a reference here to the web browser's session storage. And I'll use that a little later in this code. I move down to my constructor here and I inject the order history service. That's the order history service that we just created in the previous video. And I'm just having such great luck today. For some reason, the IDE is just not helping me with some of the quick fixes. But again, I'll just manually enter it. For your situation, it may be much easier, much better. Alrighty, so in our ng onInit method, we'll simply call the method handle order history. And we'll actually define this method here in this same class. The first thing I want to do in this method here is read the user's email from browser storage. I simply make use of this JSON parse, storage.getItem. User email, that's the key that was stored earlier by the login status component, and now we can retrieve this information. So this is the scenario of our Angular components retrieving this data at a later time. So this is where we're at. Okay, great. So I have the user's email. So now I can make a call to the history service to actually retrieve those items for this given user's email address. So I use this order history service .get order history, and I pass in the email. So it returns an observable. So we do our .subscribe, of course. And when the data is returned, then we simply assign the data. So we have this.orderHistoryList equals data.embedded.orders. So this is the data that we've actually retrieved from the REST API via the service.